On the news this afternoon, students return to school as Rivers State College of Health Science and Management Technology reopens today. INEC resumes voter registration. President Buhari reacts to threat by militant group Niger Delta Avengers to resume attacks. On the foreign scene, UK bans world's biggest cryptocurrency exchange. I am Ifeemi Andrew. Students of Rivers State College of Health Science and Management Technology Rumeme Port Harcourt were seen returning to hostels today. This is following the reopening of the school by management 10 days after it was shut down due to students' protest over poor infrastructure. A statement by the school's registrar, Kwapie Indiwe, said the provost, Professor Franklin Onlerum, announced the reopening in a meeting with students' representatives over the weekend. Speaking on this, the Secretary General National Association of Nigerian Students NANS Zone B, Noble Walkocha, said the students are in support of the reopening.
To be sincere, I was thinking that after the meeting we had with Commissioner, that Manuel will just open school because we, having been in a meeting with Commissioner of Police, and we go against the decision that has already been said or concluded in Commissioner of Police, who will be held culpable? It's not the students. Let it be that we honor the management, and so that the management will not feel as if the students are not with them. That's why we are here. As a matter of fact, Nigerian students in this school are peaceful. So on behalf of all of us, sir, we are okay with the decisions we had at the Commissioner of Police's office, and we are giving our total assurance. Or are we not?
Yeah. Reacting to the reopening of the institution, a professor of politics and governance, Kenneth Nweke, says the management of various institutions will have to learn to think outside the box in trying to solve challenges rather than wait on government. Professor Nweke of the Department of Political Science from the Ignatius Ajuru University of Education stated this in an interview with our correspondent.
The management of institutions should also learn how to also think out of the box. A typical example is the Ignatius Ajuru University of Education, and so where leadership also thinks out of the box and sees what it can do, even outside funding and all that, and then so that it can leverage on what you can do within, to also raise your IGR in order to, cushion such effects of demands and then your own responses to such demands and all that. So that would also help government.
He also commented on the call by Governor Nyesom Wike to decongest Port Harcourt and the location of the law school in Rumeme in Obiakpo local government area.
There's nothing wrong in citing the law school in Obiakpo, Rumeme for that matter. It's within his purview to decide where that institution ought to be, established. And also, if he has chosen, or the government has chosen to establish it in Obiakpo, so be it. And that means that it is at its very heart, to do so. That will not have anything more to do with decongesting Port Harcourt or not decongesting. After all, the government has already, started citing some of the institutions' campuses. For instance, the campuses of Rivers State University being cited in Eche, Emova, and Ahoda.
The Nigerian Bar Association NBA Port Harcourt branch has called on the Commissioner of Police in Rivers State Ebuka Friday to tackle human rights abuses by prevailing on the Isiokpo area commander to confirm the whereabouts of a boy they arrested 2 months ago. Recall that family of a young man arrested by police in Isiokpo are worried over the whereabouts of their son 2 months after he was arrested at Ilele axis of Ikore local government area in Rivers State. Speaking on this, Vice Chairman of NBA Antonia Osademe told our correspondent that the fundamental human rights of the young man have been abused.
It's contrary to the right of the son that the boy was arrested since over 1 month now. Is nowhere to be found. The woman have cried to them. She's been intimidated. Even the Women Rights Committee has took a step to go with the woman. They were there shouting and intimidating her. In fact, the boy's right has been tampered on, and we call on the Commissioner of Police to please use his good office to call on the commander to really come out to say what happened to this boy.
Rumokoro Police Division has detained a woman, Goma Eze, whose brother-in-law is allegedly forcing her to vacate her husband's properties and hand over the keys to him. It was learnt that Mrs. Eze was arrested after her brother-in-law said she wanted to kill her husband who resides in Turkey. The woman's father, Joe Shefat, Onyejiaka, in an interview with newsmen, accused the police of conspiring with the brother-in-law to intimidate his daughter and her sister. Mr. Onyejiaka said despite explaining to the police that his daughter has been speaking with her husband in Turkey, they were denied bail yesterday.
Came to the yard where they are living in the church, at the back of the church, and demanded the key of the house, demanded the key of the church, demanded the key of the factory. She said that the husband did not tell him like that, so therefore she will not release. But surprisingly, he went and collected police people to come and arrest my daughter. So after arresting my child, who is married, they also arrested my second daughter too, who was with him there. So when we went to the police barracks at Rumokoro to bail him, they also.
The pastor in charge of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Province 10, Rumaolu, Port Harcourt, Oswagu Godwin, says the increase in cases of domestic violence is worrisome, hence the need for the church to sensitize the public. Speaking at a rally organized by the Christian Social Responsibility Department of the church, Mr. Godwin said violence of any kind is unacceptable.
Violence is no good, whether to man or to woman. But it's very sad to note that in most homes you have this gender-related violence where husbands beat their spouses, and that is unacceptable because when you abuse the person either physically or emotionally, it hurts the person and it makes relationship a bit difficult. So it is something that should be discouraged and it's on the increase. That's why we have to come out to say no to domestic violence. Children should not be beaten up anyhow.
Also speaking at the rally, the head of the CBS department and assistant pastor Tunde Awolabi says the church needs to be more involved in the fight against domestic violence. Mr. Awolabi urged victims of domestic violence to speak out and report cases of violence.
Domestic violence is going on a higher scale now. Some men have died in it, some women have died in it, some children have been very abused. And we think the church should not just keep quiet. So we think the church should lend our voice to it so that if all of us can cry against it, then the society will know that this is a bad thing to do. One of the things we are saying is that if you see something, say something. If you see anybody that is perpetrating domestic violence, a man, a woman, or a child, say it out. We want to appeal to everybody to please exercise patience. There's nothing that cannot be talked about. For the men, tolerance. Please be tolerant and be patient with your wife and with your words.
Our correspondent reports that members of the church carried placards with inscriptions such as "Value Life, Don't Abuse Me, Say No to Domestic Violence." Some of them also spoke.
The church has risen up using this pattern, using a peaceful protest, trying to inform the people and the public the dangers of domestic violence, that even God is against it, and so if God can be against it, then man himself should also be against it.
The only thing we are creating awareness, because most of us, both the women, both the men, we are always quiet on the issue. So that is why RCCG is coming out to make awareness.
Stop every form of child abuse or domestic violence. We don't want domestic violence in our homes. Our homes should be a peaceful place where everybody will be at peace and happy and know that Jesus should rule in their family and their lives.
Away from that, INEC will be targeting at least 20 million new voters as the Commission resumes the continuous voter registration ahead of the 2023 general elections. Recall that the Commission had created over 50,000 additional polling units across the country. The Commission said the registration will be carried out continuously for over a year until the third quarter of 2022. Still ahead, President Buhari reacts to threat by militant group Niger Delta Avengers to resume attacks. Stay tuned.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
President Muhammadu Buhari says the threat issued by militant group Niger Delta Avengers on Saturday is unnecessary. The special advisor to the president and media and publicity, Femi Adesina, in a statement said all issues raised by the group were already responded to when the president met with the leadership of the Niger Delta and Ijaw National Congress at the presidential villa on Thursday. Mr. Adesina said when the Niger Delta and Ijaw National Congress visited the president, issues such as the call for restructuring and the inauguration of a board for the NDDC were addressed. As you may know, the Niger Delta Avengers in a statement on Saturday threatened to resume attacks in the Niger Delta amid rising insecurity and disagreements over share of oil revenue. In business, the NNPC says subsidy on petrol increased to 5.58 billion naira in June as daily petrol consumption stood at about 60 million litres and a subsidy of 92 naira 98 kaba per litre. A report said the landing cost of petrol being imported into Nigeria increased by more than 60% between December 2020 and mid-June this year, although the pump price of the product remained the same. In entertainment, Grammy Award winner Burna Boy has added another award to his collection. The singer won the BET Awards for Best International Act yesterday at the event, which held in the Microsoft Theater in Los Angeles, where a live audience attended for the first time since the pandemic began. The singer even attempted to teach the audience a bit of Pidgin English.
I made it this time to collect my award myself. So thank you, everyone. Thank you to my mom, the most beautiful woman on earth, who normally would be making this speech for me because I don't really like talking on the mic if I'm not singing. But yeah, my mom's here, and thank you, everyone, and everything. And one thing I'm going to do before I leave here, I'm going to teach you guys a little bit about where you're all really from. Yeah. Now, when I say "una dead here," una say, you say "we dey." Una dead here. Una dead here. That means, are you there? You are here. Thank you very much. Sham.
In sports, the Abia State government has condemned the attack on Imba players in Jos following their goalless draw against home side Plateau United in the Nigerian Professional Football League match yesterday. The attack left two Imba players, defender Dario Latunji and goalkeeper Sabiru Dasajeri, injured. Abia State Commissioner for Information John Kalu called on MPFL officials to investigate the incident and punish the fans involved.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
Binance, the world's biggest cryptocurrency exchange, has been banned by the UK's financial regulator. The Financial Conduct Authority has ruled that the firm cannot conduct any regulated activity in the UK. It also issued a consumer warning about Binance.com, advising people to be wary of adverts promising high returns on crypto asset investments. Binance said the FCA notice would have no direct impact on the services it provides from its website, Binance.com. On the news this afternoon, you heard that students have returned to school at the Rivers State College of Health Science and Management Technology, which reopened today. INEC is resuming voter education exercise today. President Buhari has reacted to threats by militant groups, Niger Delta Avengers, to resume attacks. On the foreign scene, we told you that the UK has banned the world's biggest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance. The news was edited by Choma Izewafo. Contact our newsroom in 0818-900-0017. Partly sunny weather expected in Port Harcourt this afternoon. My name is Efemi Andrew. Thank you for your time.